Hi guys, in this video we're going to be finding the volume of prisms and cylinders. Even though cylinders are not prisms, they have the same properties. And this is the formula that we're going to use for every single one of these prisms and cylinders. We are going to find the area of the base and multiply that by the height of the prism. So you'll see this formula show up. A big capital B that represents finding the area of the base, and then a lowercase h for the height of the prism. The height is not always going to be up and down because sometimes these prisms are laying on their side. The height is always between the two bases. All right, so we have to be able to do two things in order to find the volume of these three-dimensional shapes. We have to know the name of the figure because that will tell us the shape of the base. Then we have to find the area of that shape. So the orange notes you got the other day that has the triangles, the circles, the trapezoids, you might need that to help you with this. All right, so you should be able to tell me what the name of this prism is. This is a rectangular prism, and you should be copying this down. You have these notes in front of you, so pause the video as you need to so you can copy these down. So this is a rectangular prism. The base is a rectangle. Whatever the name is, that's the shape of the base. So I'm going to choose this base down here because these are all rectangles, so for this it doesn't matter which rectangles we choose because there's always going to be one that is parallel to it. So I can use those as my bases. So I'm going to find the shape of my base, which is that rectangle that I colored in. So to find the area of a rectangle, we do length times width. So 12 times 2 is 24. That's the capital B. That's the area of my base. Now I need to multiply that number by the height of the prism. The height is the number in between the two bases. So I'm going to do 24 times 8 because 8 is the height of my prism, and 24 times 8 is 192. And the unit that we put is whatever the unit is cubed when we're doing volume. All right, the next one. This is a triangular prism, which means the base is a triangle. So I need to find the triangle. So here are my bases. In between those, that 11 is going to be what I use for the height when I go to do the area of the base times the height. So my base is that triangle. I find it helpful to redraw the shape and label it by itself, and that would be a right triangle. So 4, 3, and 5. And to find the area of a triangle, we do base times height divided by 2. So the base is 4, the height is 3. So 4 times 3 divided by 2. 12 divided by 2 is 6. So that is the capital B. That's this. Now I need to multiply that by the 11, the height of my prism. So 6 times 11 is 66. And this unit would be centimeters cubed. All right, the next one, this is another triangular prism. Which means, again, I'm trying to find a triangle, and I'm going to have to find the area of the triangle. So this is not see-through, but there's another triangle back here. So there's one triangle, that's my base. There's another triangle back there. Those are my two bases. So this 12, this is the height when I do area of base times height. So if I draw this triangle, I can see all of the sides are 8. That's what those little marks mean. So this is the base of my triangle. I don't have the height. So this is one problem. This is probably the problem that has the most steps in it. It's not hard, it just has a lot of steps. We have to figure out what the height of this triangle is because I have to do base times height divided by 2, and right now I do not have the height. So if you notice when I split this down the middle, that's going to turn these both into 4 and 4. So if I put them together, they make 8. And if you notice, if I erase this half, I have a right triangle. So if you look at your formula sheet, we have something we can do with a right triangle. We can do the Pythagorean Theorem. The height is a leg. So 4 is another leg, 8 is the hypotenuse. So I'm going to have to do a squared plus b squared equals c squared so I can find the height. So I'm just going to do that. I'll do that down here. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared. 4 squared is 16. 8 squared is 64. I'm going to subtract 64 minus 16. So a squared is equal to 48, and the last step is to take the square root. So in my calculator, I'm doing the square root of 48, and that is 6.93. So now I can find the area of my original triangle, because now I can draw this in and label that this height is 6.93. So my triangle, base times height divided by 2, will be 8 is my base, 6.93 is my height, and then divide that by 2. So I'm going to do that in my calculator. 8 times 6.93, and then divide that number by 2. All right, now that's all the work for that capital B, the area of the base. So now I need to multiply that by the height, which was 12. So 27.72 times 12. And that will be millimeters cubed. All right, so that was the most steps that you'll have to do for any problem. Is if the height is missing, you just do Pythagorean theorem to find it. All right, so my last one, technically not a prism, but it still has the same, it's like in the same family. So this is a cylinder. The base is a circle. Here's one base, my parallel base. So 40, since that's in between the bases, this is the height of my cylinder. So the radius is 25. Some of you in your area classwork were struggling with a circle. So to find the area of a circle, it's pi r squared. So pi is about 3.14. My radius is 25, and then I have to square that. And I don't know if you were typing it in the calculator wrong or you were doing times 2 instead of squared, but I'm going to do pi times 25. And then I need to hit that button there to get the exponent to show up. So 1962.5. All right, that's the area of the base. I need to multiply that by the height of the cylinder, which is 40. And that will be inches cubed. All right, so we do that same thing for every single prism. It helps if you say what the name is, because the name tells you what shape you need to find the area of. So go back to the orange sheet you got the other day and figure out how to find the area of the triangle, find the area of the circle, find the area of the rectangle. If it's a trapezoid, find the area of the trapezoid, and then you multiply that answer by the height.